Yo, 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 what's going on out there? Black Compass Media, Tone Bro, back again, Political Bro Show, all that, man. A lot of things going on in politics. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. I get it. I don't normally start off like this. Pardon me. A little bit under the weather, but computer was also a little bit under the weather. So we back at it again, man. Shout out to everybody in society. Everybody's gonna hear this right now. Let's see what else. So jump into Discord. The link should work. Jump into Black Compass Media Discord to jump in this. This is interactive. The first part of this is my own musings, but then after that we get into everything, man. We're gonna get into a lot. So shout out to everybody that's here, and stick around after this too. Shout out to Swamp. Swamp's gonna be around too, Battler and everything like that. So we gonna get to it, but. On to the politics. As I see the room and everything like that fill up, I just want to start off first. I guess the first thing I actually want to start off with, I know y'all see Joe Biden there, but I do want to offer my condolences to the people out there in New Zealand and everything like that. I think, I was going to start with the actual politics, but I think that's probably worth starting off with first. But New Zealand, shout out to everybody that's out there and dealing with that tragedy and everything like that. Another deranged gunman walked into a place of worship and decided to take out his anger using a gun, of course. I'm not blaming the gun in this case. I mean, the guy was obviously deranged, obviously had a motive for fame and everything like that. I don't care to know his name, really. We shouldn't glorify stuff like that. I mean, obviously the man had a manifesto and stuff like that. I'm not reading it. I'm not. There were references made to other people. Obviously, it's not their fault. So, but I do think there's a place for rhetoric. There's things that we can address just as a people. But in this occurrence right here, I mean, what else do you say? In America, are we just desensitized to violence like that? Probably. So it makes it tough for me to really articulately speak on it. I mean, our country has dealt with gun violence at this point for decades and hasn't really enacted any valuable changes in terms of what's been proposed. Now, I'm not a take everybody's gun person. That's not my MO at all. I don't think that solves it. I don't think disarming is the answer at all. You're not getting my gun away from me. You're not doing that. So, and I think it's there for a reason. I think the first thing that any corrupt government would do, and this is where a lot of me and libertarians, a lot of conservatives really see eye to eye. The first thing that corrupt powers would do is take your guns. That's the first thing that they would do if they were really trying to control people. I'm not doing that. No. You can't tell a descendant of slaves that you're going to take. No, you're not going to take that. I'm sorry. No. Because if y'all ever try that again, like, I have multiple reasons why you cannot take my gun away from me, especially not in this country. Anyway, but I don't think there's been any valuable legislation on our end and things like that. I do see Australia's working toward that as they give the thoughts and prayers of actually working to do something, which I wish that our country was about. I wish we had the fortitude to do something. So, I mean, I'm interested in knowing what people think about it. At this point, are you desensitized to it? I see people jumping in the chat and things like that. I see shout out to Damn I'm Wild and everything. I think when you get to a point where gun violence is normalized or to a greater point, and I think this is what's been floated around because you have a lot of people getting called out. I seen Candace Owens doing her Candace Owens like thing about it, right? Because her name was thrown in the mix, right? He targeted a YouTuber as well, PewDiePie. Like he did like a lot of just mixing in names, right, to get it viral, to get the information out there. But it's interesting to me the reaction to this type of event, especially in America, especially when we dealt with our own elements of, white supremacy, like terrorists, terrorism inspired by these warped notions of supremacy that go unchecked, right? You can't call it out. There's never a good time. Like, when is the right time to call out white supremacy and privilege? I'm asking everyone. When is the right time to call it out? Because it's never right after the shooting. Where is that lecture coming from? Like, because I remember we had to deal with lectures all the time about our culture. We get lectured all the time about hip hop and violence and everything under the sun. But where is the lecture now? Because there's basically one demographic of people that's doing that right now. I'm sorry. If we take the time, we try to call out stuff, we try to profile people and things like that. I mean, let's have the conversation all the way around. The same people who have these gripes about people of color and things like that, they try to do that based on data. But the facts here are showing that there's a rise in this sentiment. There's a rise in terror rooted in beliefs of white supremacy and things like that, and it's going unchecked. Why is that? That's my question. And then here's the other thing. Australia did something about it. They're in the course of putting something together. They're putting something together. Legislation on the floor. I don't know what it's going to look like. It might not be perfect, but they're doing something about it. Why is that? Why are we so slow to enact change in the country? Is it all tied back to money and politics and money's influence in politics, because gun lobby and the gun sales are so entrenched into our government that we are afraid to do anything? I don't know. That we can't make the necessary investments in mental health? Because if we do that and it works, imagine what else we'll do to help people help themselves, right? I really just think there are people that are afraid to see things work. Let's invest in mental health. Let's do that. But if it works, it's going to undo a lot of systematic injustice done to people, and not just people of color, not just black people. So, I don't know. A shout out to people that's out there right now. Shout out to Jamal. He said we're stubborn. I do believe that we're stubborn. I believe that, but I do think there's compromises that can be made, and I would really like to hear what people think about the subject of mass shootings, gun rights, things like that. So when we open it up to the folks that are going to come on, so one of the things I want y'all to consider. All right, so. Shout out to Damn on Wow. He says, Tone, I really want to believe Trump is too stupid to purposely instigate the BS. I really think he doesn't know how his misinformation is redirecting the course of racism. I would like to believe that he's just naive, like he's a naive puppet of something greater, right? I would just like to believe that. Like that's an easier thing for me to believe. Either way, it's wrong. But because it's like, if he's that naive about what he's doing, how did he become president? And it's like that's crazy. It opens up a whole other school of thought. But if he's cognizant about what he's actually doing, then it's crazy because of how effective it is. The silence. Notice the silence on certain things. I mean, he had 4 different tweets about Jeanine Pirro. He talked about SNL reruns. But he couldn't make the time to call out white supremacy or acknowledge that it's on the rise, as has been reported by people who study these things. But when you discredit science, when you discredit people who research things for a living, and you try to trivialize their professions, then of course there's no data to support his speculation about, any of that stuff. So, but mental education does have to start very, very early, and everything like that. And I pray for those people. But at the same time, hopes and prayers can only do so much. You got to enact something, and they're moving pretty quickly. And there's been a sentiment in, there's been a change in how they want, they want to make sure that the community feels welcomed after something like this. Leadership is doing that. And shout out to my man with the egg. Yes, I'm going to bring up the guy with the egg. Shout out to him. Young man, I hate to laugh at actual violence done in a political setting, but in this case, it's hilarious to me. I'm sorry. Politician gets up there and basically blames the immigrant population. This politician from Australia, he blames the immigrant population for being essentially there, right? Having the audacity to live in Australia, in New Zealand. I mean, the whole country was just like, what? You're blaming them for you blaming these people for the influx. Like, first of all, it has nothing to do with them. These people don't even make the policy. Second, how is that the issue? Like, you cannot justify that. So to say that in the same sentence is crazy. But he's doing damage control on the press run. And you see it too. You see the kid come up with the egg. I'm going to get the GIF too, because I want to put that up. But you see him with the egg just come across it, just right across the back of the head. Now, he turned around. It did look like he checked a little bit before he made that swing. Now, the politician came with a little slap. It was weak. But then he kind of looked again like, oh, it's a kid. So then he tried to really get his shit off. Security ended up hemming him up and all that. He was released free of charges and all that. But I think it's that's what you get, man. You can't get that off. You can't do that. No. I don't advocate violence, but to me it's a little it's like if Johnny Knoxville was into politics, some shit he would do. Hold this egg, bruh. You sound stupid. You sound crazy. And I'm glad it was a young boy doing that. You sound stupid to me. What are you doing? Hold this egg. Anyway. How do we get people to start looking at mental health of middle-aged white men? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think the issue is that there still is a stigma of mental health, especially among especially in America. Right? So it's come around, but still the demographics where it's a little tougher for them. You know what I mean? You're talking to a lot of people who've been in power for a while. So for them to go back and kind of proactively fix it, it's kind of tough. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have all the answers about mental health because I just really feel like it's such a personal subject. It's like, yo, I don't just recommend throwing medication at people. That's the other reason why I'm having a hard time with this. Part of me. It's because I don't think you solve it by throwing pills at somebody. No. I think there's a time and a place for that, but that's not how we solve it. So, to the next one. Let me, shout out to, hot. Yo, listen, it's not for everybody. It's cool. But shout out to people that's here listening and everything like that. Feel free to chime in as you see fit. Let's get to the other thing that I wanted to get to too. Is Joe Biden. Joe Biden is he basically told on himself while he was giving a little speech about everybody who's in the field. It was weird the way he worded it. Basically signaling that he's going to run in 2020. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about that? Joe Biden running for president again. First of all, this would be his third time, I feel like, running. we have to evaluate the legacy under Barack Obama, and it, in keeping the same energy we have for Hillary Clinton with criminal justice and things of that nature. Look back at what Joe Biden was saying during them times when them harsh prison sentences were handed out to black people, overwhelmingly, disproportionately. During the super predator era, like, so it's like, look back at that era, what he was saying. I just want y'all to do that, because that's what I was told people didn't vote for Hillary for. But the good things about Joe Biden is that, number one, the record is deep. He has accomplishments. He's been there for a lot of progressive wins. He can claim the Obama legacy. He could do that. He can. And that makes him attractive. He can connect with the states that Hillary lost. I see Joe Biden getting Wisconsin, for instance. I don't see that going Trump's way if Biden is at the top of the ticket. He's a good debater. Go back and watch. Okay, so go back and watch, like, I know they have like the bloopers and like the reels of just the faces and all that with Joe Biden, but go back and look at Joe Biden versus Paul Ryan, cleaning him up. Like, it was crazy. So we know he has skill in that area. Good retail politician. I'm interested to see how much people have some energy for him. You know what I mean? What will the energy be like? Because in this current crop, he is probably one of the least progressive. I mean, he's going to try to play up his progressive record, but which I think is a mistake, by the way. I think the person that comes out of this Democratic thing is the person that's right in the middle. Not too far progressive, but definitely, not on the other side. You know what I mean? Like, right in the middle. Whoever comes out in that middle is going to get the nomination, I think. But he comes out of this looking a little older, a little whiter, a little bit more old school than the current crop. When you put them on that stage, you imagine him and Beto. What y'all think about Beto, too? Beto kind of reminds me of like a young Bernie almost. Like, I don't know. It's something about him. I can't. I need to see him. I need to hear more policy stuff. I need to hear more positions. He did a lot of. It was interesting because if you watch him talk, is Beto. He did a lot of in the spirit of the question. Like, he kept doing that. It's a weird trick that politicians do. You ask a politician a question, like, you know what I mean? Oh, what do you think about McDonald's versus Taco Bell? And they come back and they're like, well, I'm not going to state a position on that, but in the spirit of the question, fast food restaurants are great. Like, he does that. That's what he does. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I think he's relying very heavily on personality and just this vision. He can kind of sell you that. Like, so with people like Joe Biden on the stage, I think it's going to be tough. So let me know what y'all think about that. They said Bernie ain't beating Trump. I don't think so. I don't think Bernie could beat Trump. I think the minute you put socialist on anything, it's just not going to, I'm sorry. It's not going to win with white America, man. Like, it's just not, bruh. It's not a thing that's going to happen. They still killing Hillary. Was Hillary really that bad to, okay, whatever. We could visit that on another day. But no, I think Joe Biden jumping into the race is good. It adds a little bit of moderation. I could actually see him being at the top of the ticket and honestly, I could see him being at the top of the ticket and pretty much everybody else in the field being a VP to him. Pretty much. Like, I can't see him in like Gabbard, like Tulsi Gabbard. Like, no. By the way, I think she's dangerous. And I think she's That progressive record is in question, in my opinion. Anyway, they said, why is everybody hating on Chelsea Clinton? Oh yeah, Chelsea Clinton got called out for see, that was weird. Like, why do people like misdirect the anger? I feel like it's a time and a place to call stuff out, but Chelsea Clinton not really a public figure to be, running down on a church about comments, which I do think it's important though. I think the conversation that has been had is actually very important. And I do go back to what happened, because it's been a while since we had a show, but I go back to what actually happened with with Rep Omar, Ilhan Omar, and the way that they came down on her for her comments. Like that's another thing I want to get a perspective from people on, because I feel like there was an attempt there to bury a rising star within the party. And they very nearly fell for the bait on that. They very nearly did. And she was actually raising, the loyalty to Israel that America has, it often seems like if you question any of that, then you're immediately labeled anti-Semitic. And I just think that's wrong. It's wrong. And God bless her for caring about the Palestinians that are also there. There are other people that are there. It's not anti-Semitic to think about those people when you talk about Israel. It's not. Not at all. So, I think there was an attempt there to kind of railroad her and kind of put her in her place a little bit. And her and Talib and Ocasio-Cortez, they're not going. They're not doing it. No. They're not playing. This new crop of congresswomen, and they're not playing with y'all. They're gonna say what they want to say, and they're gonna advocate for things that hadn't been represented in Congress before, right? With this type of voice, with this type of face on it, I think it's important. I think it is, and people should be a little bit uncomfortable. This is the first time some of y'all hearing this, that, yeah, some people that really support the Palestinians over there and think that the Israeli government is very right wing. And that America shouldn't blindly have allegiance to anybody or any position. So that's what I think. But all of this stuff is stuff that's going to test Biden. It's going to be a progressive purity test for sure. Oh yeah. Let's not get stupid here. The capitalism. Some of y'all going on about capitalism. Are you a capitalist? Oh, you goddamn right. I'm a capitalist. Like, don't fall for, like, this is why I hate Dems sometimes. Like, I rock with y'all, but I don't like y'all sometimes because, like, that's stupid. Of course you're a capitalist. What are you talking about? They put on, what was it? Hickenlooper or John Ensign, I think. One of the 50 guys running for president. They had him on MSNBC. And they ask him, are you a capitalist? And he just like Porky Pig, like stutter everywhere, just all over the place. Like, bruh. And here's the best part about that is that he owns a business. Like he got started through business. So what are you doing? It's just little stupid stuff like that. Anyway. All right. Let's get to another subject near and dear to my heart, and then I'm gonna get some people on and all that, right? So this is the other thing that I wanted to kind of talk about. I mean, so there were two things, but I'm gonna open up the lines on the other one. Now, shout out to all my brothers and sisters who went to college, whatever college you went to, community college, online, you know what I'm saying? Brothers who went to college late, you know what I mean? Sisters who worked multiple jobs and still ended up getting that degree out of it. Salute to y'all. Respect to y'all. Respect to everybody. Because college is not, like, especially if you doing it right, college is not easy, right? So, and I just remember in high school, before I went to college, like, you put together your packages, you got your applications together and stuff like that, and you just hoping that, okay, I'm getting the callbacks and stuff, and your profile look a certain way. And there was always this undercurrent that there were other kids who didn't have it, who had it a little easier than I did. Always had a little bit of a leg up. Like, that was always in the back of my head. Like, there's some kids who just did not have to go through that. They seemed very, like, it just didn't, you know, it's weird to me. And even now, right, like growing up, I mean, obviously in my career and throughout college, there were several times where I just witnessed, just because of factors of life and you know, wealth and generational wealth and things like that, they operate very, very different. It's not that the idea of entitlement for them is not just simply like, oh, I'm gonna just do this. Like, I'm gonna just get this because I have the means to do it. It's like, no, I deserve this. I absolutely deserve this. Period. So you mix that up, right, with generational wealth, generational influence, the need to preserve that over time. And then you marry that with the concept of the helicopter mom who can't bear the thought of their kid not possibly going to college to be somebody. If you don't go to college, you're a failure. Even if you don't want to go, just go. That, when you marry those two things, this is what you get. Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin. This is what you get. Two celebrities caught up in a scandal. College pay-for-play scandal. $500 billion with a B, billion-dollar lawsuit generated. Oh, yeah, we was doing it all. We was doing some Ocean's 11 type scammery. Oh, and I'm saying this with a smile. In case you wonder if I'm smiling, like, I'm happy. I am. This was a good news story to me for a couple reasons, because it puts a face on what I think we would all agree is corruption, right? This is an unlevel playing field. This is literally, and this is what, honestly, this is what both sides of the political spectrum that meet in that middle class talk about. The wealthy having a leg up over all of us through some means that we don't even have access to. They find a complex ring of scammery, pay for play. They're photoshopping pictures into different things. They like, they're creating whole athletic profiles. Crazy. And now they get caught because obviously the guy goes, he gets caught, and he snitches on everybody. These are the same people who talk about affirmative action. These are the same people who rail against any admission of any African-American students. They talk on Twitter incessantly about leg up, the legs up that different minorities have, as if we didn't work, right? And then the idea of affirmative action, by the way, that benefits white women the most. We know this, though, right? We know this. But anyway, affirmative action got my application read. It didn't get me anything. But these people are actively cheating, and the best part about it is their kids don't even want to go. One of the kids don't even want to go. Think about that and then contrast that with the value of college, how overvalued college is. Because you've assigned this prestige to it to the point where people of means are willing to bribe athletic directors for. Of course, the cost of college is going up. Of course. And I say it as a person with multiple graduate degrees, bruh. If it ain't for you, it ain't for you. It should not. Do what you want to do. That's the lesson of any of this education that I've ever received. Do what makes you happy. Do what you're good at. Do what feeds yourself, and find a marriage between something that you really like and something that you can make money doing. I'm not encouraging anything illegal here, but I'm saying something that you really like and something that makes you money. Find a way to marry the two and you're good. All that other shit doesn't matter, bruh, in my opinion. I advocate going to college if you want to. If you want to. You know how much I'm paying in loans? I don't wish that on nobody. No. Absolutely not. Free tuition is cool, but I don't think everybody should be going to college at all. No. I gotta keep the same energy. Like the NCAA championship pisses me off every year. Pretty much the March Madness. I love it, but I hate it too. Cause why I gotta go another couple years, a year in school or whatever, and then I can get into the league? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Why would that make any sense? So, and you know, you ever meet a really talented kid that can also build things, is a very good mechanic? It could probably leave high school and make a lot of money very quickly doing mechanic stuff. If only you honed his skills while he was in school. People learn differently. Like, it's just a lot. It's a lot. But this is the face of what's cheating the system. And think about the amount of waste. Think about the spots that people actually worked to get that couldn't get those slots because these people went in and they cheated the system. Same people become lawyers and try to roll back the gains that people got their asses whooped for. Shout out to John Lewis. Anyway, I'm gonna open up the joint here for everybody that's out there. If you are out there too, definitely subscribe. I'm sorry for the voice and all that, man. I'm a little bit under the weather and things of that nature, but I still wanted to do this and everything like that. But Black Compass, the full radio show will be on tomorrow and all that too, with the whole team and everything. So we're going to continue like that. But I want to open up the lines for everybody because it said Tone always under the weather. Yeah, yo, you got to understand, DC Trade, I don't know what the weather's going to do. Some days in my house, I'm hot, like really hot. Other days, I'm cold, like it's funky out here. Ask anybody from New York right now about the weather. You done got sick 3 times. I got sick 3 times in 2 weeks. How? Like, a week ago it was pollen, then it was snow. Like, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, 56, yeah, exactly. 57 during the day, 35 in the evening. Come on, bro. And I'm from upstate, but this is funky. Like, it's just cold year round upstate. This shit here is different. Anyway, I wanted to get people's perspective on the situation with Kodak Black and Young and May, and I just really wanted to see what people had to say about that. All right. That situation to me was tough. That was tough. And look, I wasn't, because I wrote that I feel like it's pretty toxic. It's a very toxic perspective to have. Like, you know, he's talking about her in this way, and she's obviously not, like, she presents as a very masculine woman. She's a lesbian, openly gay. Very masculine dress, aesthetic, butch. And he's talking about messing with her, which is so weird to me in the beginning. Like, that was just weird. Like, do you know you really, like, she got, you have to do a lot in order to even think of her that way. That's weird to me. So, but for me, I just feel like, you know how I talk about misogyny in our community and homophobia and things like that, and just these internalized notions of like that. It's just interesting to me that he would go about it like that. But now there's other people on the other side, like, well, she was saying all this, you know what I mean? So she said other things about guys and stealing. Like, it's weird to me that conversation even goes on and all that. But it's like we have to deal with notions of like homophobia, who's safe, who's not safe in these like different spaces, who we want to protect and who we don't. And I feel like the way that especially the way that people look, the stigmas in our community behind, gay, lesbian, transgender people is really messed up. It is. I don't think it's good for us to sort of it's too much going on for us as a people to kind of focus in on that. I do think that the struggles are very different, but the Kodak thing just kind of caught me off guard. It's just a weird idea to even think of her like that. It's weird. So, and if for him to kind of press it in this environment, but see, I don't know what attention, I don't know what this era does with attention. I don't know if it's real, if it's a real sentiment, but then I seen all the people on Twitter kind of getting behind it. So I'm like, it's a little interesting to me. So anyway, if you're in the joint right now, if you want to get up here, talk about any of the subjects that I've talked about thus far, hit me up and we can continue that and then we can end it off. They say, yo, I can't wait. I cannot wait to see these mugshots. They're gonna get time too. Like Lori and Felicity, they're gonna get time, bruh. Like they're gonna get time, and I'm gonna be happy about that. I am. Michael, explain why you endorse Trump. Yeah, we have a Trump fan in here. There are several African American people, or several black people who endorse Trump out in the world here, and I just want to know how. And I want to know what again means and make America great again means. Like I don't know what again means. King wants to call up. King under God, you have to jump in the radio room, help him out. Who else wanted to talk? Let's see. I'm not looking at the I want to call up joint. I don't know if somebody's in there. Nah, that is from a prior joint. But yeah, no, they're gonna get a lot of time. And yo, I'm starting to get worried too about this Mueller report. I'm gonna be honest too. Like, I'm gonna be very honest with y'all on that. That Mueller report's starting to worry me, bruh. Let me see. Oh, I got DC Trey. My man DC want to talk, man. All right. Let's see. DC, what up? Oh, wait a minute. What'd you say? Say that one more time. Yeah. I got you. Yeah. Right. Bad. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 100%. And I think it's crazy, man. Do you think we overvalue college? You think that the value of college, like people are doing too much with that? Why do you believe that? Why?
when they graduate,
Mm-hmm.
I would say 7 times out of 10, they're not getting the position that they went to school for.
Yeah.
So that's number one.
Right.
Um, Number two, like I said, it's the finance thing. You don't want that type of burden on your head. That's number two. And but then at the same time, number three, like I said, like we said before, I did watch the Killer Mike thing on on Netflix.
Yeah.
Trigger
Yeah.
warning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When he went ahead and just said, you know, you don't need to really be in college to get to make a living like we all. You got people that work on cars. They don't have to really go to college for that. Just pick up a trade. You get money that way if you feel as though you want to go forward with your education.
Yeah.
You can do that based off the money you've earned from whatever career you went. You got jobs that actually do help with tuition assistance. So I mean,
do you think I do think there's a case to be made that you want people to be exposed to things that they don't know about or things like that, and I get that because that's what college does in a lot of ways. But the social capital gained at college, that's the other part that people just aren't looking at. Do you know the value of getting into a college like Harvard or Yale? It's so valuable that you could drop out and still put it on your resume. Like, that's how dope it is to go to Harvard or Yale. Like,
that's true. That's true.
You feel what I'm saying? That's crazy.
It's true. It's true because it's like I went to Morgan, and it's like when you tell people, yeah, I went to Morgan or any other HBCU, they're like, oh, okay, that's what's up. And then they quickly change the subject to something else. And it's like, wow, I went to Morgan I went to any other HBCU for whatever reason. But when you tell somebody else that, I guess a person of color, they're like, oh, you went to there, like how was your experience? And then you know, most of the time it's like, well, it was cool, it was fine, but then at the same time it's like, I mean, I had a bad experience, so I tried not to deter nobody from going to an HBCU because of my experience is bad, but I still say, well, it's just based on what you like, you know.
Yeah, so. I mean, no, it depends, man, and I just think I think the way that we handle education in this country is just all fucked up. I just don't think your area code should have an impact on how well educated you are.
That's true.
And that is until we can figure that out, it's gonna be tough. It is gonna be tough. You know what I'm saying? So you know, but then again, there should be well, I think what people should push for instead of universal college, I think they should push for a federal raise in starting salary for teachers.
Yes.
If you push the because a teacher that has been teaching for a while is making a pretty decent living. Actually, that is the untold secret about teaching. By the way, the longer you do it, you will make a lot of money. Like, you will make a decent living. But I think if you prop the starting salary up, and I don't know what the starting salary is around the country, but I remember somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 40,000 to start. I think if you boosted that up just a little bit, you added something more, 15%, 20%.
Right.
I think you immediately recruit a lot of people.
Right, and then to your point, it also got to look at who are being, I want to say accepted as teachers because like there's not that many, especially male, black male teachers in some of these higher, I guess better educated provided schools and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Compared to those in other in the city or whatever like that, because most of the teachers that the teachers I had in high school, that they were white, they was teaching most of the good classes. But most of our black teachers were teaching gym or, like just something, or just a coach or something like that.
Yeah.
Just something that's not really, like that could show their mental prowess. So it's like, all right, well, I'm glad that you're teaching me that, but I wish you taught this. Because it seems like you know a lot about this. You know what I mean? Compared to like when you do go to college, you do get those teachers that do have a higher, I guess, level of expertise
to
learn from. or you got those from, or like we seen before, a lot of foreigners that do come over and teach classes as well. So,
Right.
I
Right.
mean, but who knows? But I just hope that in the near future they do find a way to fix it, or at least try to find a way to balance out the epidemic, at least, and try to figure out a way to get this done. I mean, because I need the help. I'm pretty sure you need the help.
Hell yeah. What?
and you got kids about to come up, man. I'm pretty sure they would definitely need the help.
Right.
That's the other thing.
Trey, does Joe Biden in the race change anything for like? Is that a? Do you think he's a good candidate to be in there?
Okay. I think him and Byrne, they just need to chill out.
Yeah, him and Bernie can chill, right? They could go home.
Him and Bernie can chill. They can.
Right.
And I think, but also, if whoever or is the main one that comes away with the top nomination, they should just, we're going to back him. We're going to try to help, impose some of our policies and practices onto them to see if we can get some of the stuff that we want done. I saw something on, what was that? Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
When they had, I forgot the Asian guy's name, Andrew something, but he was talking about imposing $1,000 a month stipend to everybody in the United States, every household that had one.
Oh shit!
To help out, to help out with the the economy. He said that same practice worked in Alaska, and a lot of their taxes and stuff like that has basically gone away, and their deficit is basically got down to 0 to none, based on just getting this $1,000 stipend a month. So I mean, you should check that out. I mean,
$1,000 a month in stipend. Interesting.
Right.
I don't know.
On top of whatever you. So I mean, also.
Wait, you breaking up, Trey. Say it again.
Oh, yeah, you hear me better now?
Go ahead, yeah.
Okay, so it's also shown that it's also been done in other countries outside the United States, and it actually worked as well.
I just can't. I mean, the U.S. to me is very big and very diverse. I mean, $1,000 means different things to different parts of the country, like a dramatic difference. Like a stack is a different thing. I do think when you put money in the hands of people who spend it, they spend it. So that's always good. But is it a sustained boost? No, it's not. I think we do better investing in job training. And there is information out there that says that a lot of jobs actually do have positions and just not enough qualified people to teach them. And the big truth about that is that we didn't train our people properly. Once the automation started to come in, we didn't make it our business to pay people to be trained to do other things. We should have paid people to be trained to do other things. It's just It's what we should have done, because if you pay people to do it, if you pay people to get trained, the investment in the future is already there. What's the likelihood that their kids will be ahead of the curve too? Like you have to ingrain in society that you always have to be sharp. Like that needs to be the message.
That right there was the for Hillary and her campaign. She was in the rural countries, and they said, "Are you all going to provide? We're losing our jobs for mining and stuff like that." They said, "Are you going to guarantee our jobs?" She said, "Being honest with you, no, we're not. But we're going to train you for what's going forward." And they said, "To hell with you, I'm going with Trump because he said he's going to guarantee my job." But look at them now.
Crazy. And DC Trey, I got to close out. I got I'm hitting the hard break here, so I appreciate you jumping up here, giving your opinions, bro.
No problem.
All right. Yo, shout out to DC Trey, man. Shout out to everybody out there listening to this Black Politics session. Typically we would probably go just a little bit longer, but I have something special coming up. New Battler Spotlight with Swamp coming up. I see him in the chat. So we gonna mic check it and then be right back. All right. So y'all be good, man. Black Compass Media, on behalf of the whole team, we up out of here, man. Peace.